Hi, I'm Amanda Shekarchi, and I am joined by Heather Feather, who is a ray of sunshine. Heather is a singer songwriter and disability advocate. Heather's music raises disability awareness in a fun and creative way. Her music is written with a child audience in mind. However, anyone can relate to her catchy lyrics and captivating production. Her latest single is Happy for You, and her album Together drops on June 27th. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much for having me, Amanda.
I want to start with how you got into writing children's music.
So, writing children's music came out of disability. It was a response to disability, but it was a path that took a little while. So, I spent my whole life preparing to be a classical musician. Um, Played in semi professional orchestras, sang as a professional chorister, did a Bachelor of Music, did some master studies, did a PhD, trained as a music theorist, did some composition studies, was teaching as an instructor at McGill. But for 10 years, I had been getting increasingly sick and I had absolutely no idea what was wrong. I just knew I was exhausted and random body parts wouldn't work every few days. Um, it was really hard continuing with my studies. So as I had met a guy in Montreal and we were getting ready to get married, I pursued a diagnosis and finally got one of MS. So at that point, everything kind of broke down. I got really, really ill. We started a family. And once I had my son, I realized how much I loved him, how much his little brain was active, how fast he learned. And I loved all the kids. And then I realized it wasn't stressful, it was fun singing with kids. So I started doing like gig by gig in a class one at a time to see how that went with the MS, and it stayed really, really well. And I decided to just go into that full time. So it was serendipity.
So, what do you hope people take away from your music?
I really hope that this particular album that's coming up, people see the necessity for inclusion. And it's not a wish, it's a basic human right. Um, Everybody deserves friends, a place to grow, to be included, to feel welcome in their own skin, and to be exactly who they are. For kids growing up and adults that are already finished growing, to feel accepted and to know every day. One of the words in one of my songs is, "I'm good enough every single day as long as I do my best." And that's all anyone can ask of you, but it's all you can ask of yourself. And it takes a lot of anxiety off of oneself to remind oneself, no matter what, if I did my best today, I have no regrets. I am good enough. I did my best. I rock. That's it.
I love that. So, your new single, Happy for You, was released in April. What was the inspiration behind it?
That one is one that I hadn't heard anything similar before, and I've actually had a lot of feedback from other children's musicians saying, "Man, I wish I had a written that one. Like, this is unique." And it's not something unique that behind it, it's just that it's not been put into a song. So when you do not win and there's a competition, one of the first things a parent will say to their child is, "That's okay. We all take turns. You did your best. And let's go celebrate your friend." I mean, that's kind of the next step, is no matter what, if it's not your turn to win, you celebrate the person who did, because there's no better way to say, "You are my friend," and to demonstrate that and to be a friend than by being supportive and understanding that wins are shared and we all grow together. So seeing my son grow up, having come through a generation before him where everybody got a participation medal, and now we're coming out of that and we're kind of getting back to one person wins or there's places. It's a positive attitude going forward to raise less competitive kids who are measure themselves against themselves and not against others, and are part of this community of we all do best when we do it together.
That is so beautiful. So, another track that really spoke to me that I wish I had listened to when I was a kid, but it's from this lyric I wanna bring up from I'm good enough, which is sometimes I feel a little bit nervous that I won't do well in a test or make the team. What does that lyric mean to you?
I think that kids have a lot of pressure that they put on themselves. There's a lot of pressure from parents. And I was talking to someone who said, gee, I wish that I could play this for all the hockey moms and dads that are, from the bench and maybe pushing their kids too hard, but kids push themselves hard too. And I remember being very anxious, being very nervous, like, I don't know what's going to happen, and almost getting paralyzed with fear. Like, maybe I won't make the soccer team this year and I'll be left out. Maybe I will bomb this test. And it's a universal feeling that we all have, and to be able to calm ourselves, no matter if it's us putting the pressure on ourselves or someone else putting pressure on ourselves, to be able to have the social emotional awareness within ourselves to calm ourselves. And that's what I'm hoping to give kids and adults through this song: tips and tricks to calm yourself when you're really anxious about something coming up.
I get it because I'm such a perfectionist that I'm like, I need to do well on this. I need to do well on that. And like the song is such a reminder that, like, it's okay if we're not perfect all the time because we're just trying our best.
You got it.
The new album Together is coming out on June 27th. What is the theme behind it?
The primary theme is inclusion, and all the songs are they're positive modeling of social emotional development. Some of them touch upon like the basis of how where happiness comes from, how to make yourself happy, and how to be in control of your own happiness. And then once you're in control of your own happiness and you learn to protect your own happiness, then you can start sharing with others and make others happy by doing kind things. So, this kind of awareness of being part of a community is the basis of inclusion, that we share that with everyone. And then the songs kind of build up towards being the more advanced ones in terms of older children understanding. Don't judge a book by its cover. Yes, this person does not look the same as you, or they may not, be able to do the same things as you. But this person has their own gifts and their own talents, and everybody needs a place. You can be the person to offer them that place. Find your common ground. So a lot of the songs are about inclusion, about awareness of kids that are left out, awareness of marginalized groups, and awareness of children just to look around and adults to look around and see, hey, what can I do to make somebody else feel welcome today?
I love that. So, what was the production process like for this album?
That was super fun. It was complicated in the sense that it involved two studios in two different countries. But I started with a sketchbook and I went to see, these are all songs I had developed for teaching. So everything that I do is used in the classroom. And then I kind of narrow it down to the ones that I think will transform the best into commercially released songs. I started in New York with a Grammy winning producer, Dean Jones, who does almost exclusively kids' music. And I think he's produced about 65 children's albums. He's really funny. His studio is called No Parking Studio, and his band is Doggone Fleas, which is funny. So we started with him. I put together some tracks. I came back to Montreal from New York, and I got my jazz friends together, and we recorded a couple of other songs that were started in Montreal as a jazz band, just recorded as they were, all at the one time, just read through the charts and created as we went. And then we merged the two together. So we took the live jazz and then Dean added to it, or we started with Dean's tracks. And then I had my jazz musician friends add like a piano part here, or this needs a guitar part. Could you add like a Stevie Wonder vibe to this, playing over the top? And yeah, it was really a great collaboration between Alchemist Studios in the East End of Montreal and Dean's No Parking Studio in New York.
That is so lovely. So, how do you feel the industry can be more inclusive for people like us?
The industry is getting better than it was. The industry is really, really good on the side of the audience. So it's getting a lot better with making sure that spaces are accessible, that there is braille, that there is a sign language interpreter. These things are kind of coming along to help audience members feel included and to make them included, not just feel included, but be included. One of the things that needs to happen more is for the performers to actually be able to get on the stage. So that's kind of what Ramped is working on, recording artists and music professionals with disabilities. And I am a group. I'm associated with that group and spoke for them recently in a panel at Folk Alliance International in Montreal. And that's kind of where we're going now, of making sure that the audience members have continued access to music in the ways that they will enjoy it the best and get the most out of it, while those that are performing can access applications. They can successfully compete for grants. They don't have any barriers, that they can try to get to a conference where they can showcase their talents, and that they can just simply move around, get onto a venue, get into the venue, and have accessible equipment for them. So the industry's moving in the right direction. They have work to do, though.
That's amazing. Yes, I think RAMP is such an incredible organization. I got to talk to Lachi for a project I did with CBC, and she just had so much amazing insights, like the work that RAMP did for the Grammys, making that accessible. So I think it's really awesome that you're involved with that as well.
It's a real honor to be involved with Ramped. They're just absolutely phenomenal and they do such important work. I think everywhere that Ramped has been, it just sparks conversation and questions, which is exactly what increases awareness and helps people that don't have disabilities to kind of gain a little insight into things they never thought about before.
Yes. So something interesting that in your past you kind of had, you come from a musical family. How did that influence your passion for music?
I grew up making music with both parents, and then every single family get together. There was no television. We didn't watch movies, but somebody grabbed a guitar, or multiple people grabbed guitars. There was a piano there. Somebody was just jamming on that, and everyone was singing. And growing up in Newfoundland in the generation I did, um, folklore and cultural history is passed down through music, and we don't sit around and watch a hockey game. We get together, we have a sing along. So it's important to me to continue to make music with other people. It's all about community. It's all about collaboration. And it's all about intergenerational stuff. So when I teach, when I do a concert, I try to make sure that I'm specifically including something for elders. I'm including something for parents and grandparents. There's always something for the children. And everybody is making music together. And I do that in my home studio as well. Whenever I teach, it's multiple generations together. And the goal is to teach the adults along with the children so they continue making music as a family after they leave my lessons.
That's so lovely. So let's tell the people where they can find you. Feel free to shout out your socials here.
On Instagram, I am Heather Feather Children's Music. There's a few underscores in there, but if you just type that in, you'll find me. It's the same on YouTube. So Heather underscore Feather underscore Children's Music. Uh, Facebook is the same, and Blue Sky, I think, is Heather Feather Music. And my website right now is weejam.ca. So WEE, as in little ones, jam, JAM.ca. And it's going to be moving soon to heatherfeathermusic.ca and .com, I think.
Thank you so much, Heather, for being here. Heather's album Together drops on June 27th, and the single Happy for You is out now. Heather is also part of the lineup for Prologue Performance Art, which is a nonprofit organization presenting accessible performances in schools and for communities across Ontario.